The Super Bowl is by far the biggest sporting event of the year in the United States. Every year, during the first week of February, the champions of the AFC and NFC face off in what can only be described as a major American holiday. Friends and families coordinate weeks in advance to discuss who's bringing what food, booze, and who has the nicest flat screen to watch the big game. Surprisingly enough, almost 10% of Americans even bought a new TV just for the game in 2019. This year, the AFC's Kansas City Chiefs and the new face of the league, Patrick Mahomes, will look to repeat as champs against the NFC's Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the perennial GOAT, Tom Brady. It is a matchup that all NFL fans are looking forward to, as the potential storylines resulting from the final score are fascinating. Will Mahomes and the Chiefs assert themselves as the NFL's next dynasty, or will Brady silence the critics once and for all, solidifying himself as the best quarterback of all time and join the likes of Jordan, Gretzky, and Ruth on the Mount Rushmore of American sport? But, no matter what the final score of the game may be, the NFL is sure to be laughing all the way to the bank. Over the years, the NFL has become the most watched and preferred sport in the United States. Initially, America's pastime, baseball, was the favorite sport to watch, and it wasn't even close. However, once the AFL and NFL merged in 1966, football never looked back and has been Americans' favorite sport ever since. Nowadays, the MLB and NBA compete for a distant second place, and the NHL seems to be struggling for relevance amongst soccer and auto racing. Although, it has not all been sunshine and rainbows for the league. The NFL has faced significant controversies over the past few years, with the largest beginning with Colin Kaepernick and his protests over police brutality and systemic racism in the United States. This created a divide between the NFL's left-leaning players and their fans, who tend to be more to the right. The league saw significant drops in viewership and revenue over this time, and have still not fully recovered to their highs. However, it seems that the league has weathered the storm fairly successfully, as they still reign supreme with American viewers. For example, 7 of the 10 most watched TV broadcasts of 2020 were NFL football games, with the Super Bowl doubling the viewership of the second most watched broadcast, the NFC Championship game between the Packers and 49ers. This follows the historical trend that we've seen over the past few decades, where 29 of the 30 most televised events in U.S. history have been the Super Bowl, averaging 100 million viewers per year. With these unbelievable viewership numbers every year, you might be wondering how much the NFL makes out of all this. Well, it's quite a bit. First, let's start with the meat and potatoes of the NFL's big game revenues. The NFL signed a 9-year deal in 2011 with NBC, CBS, and Fox to span from the 2013 to the 2022 football seasons, valued at $27 billion. That averages out to $3 billion a year just for the rights to televise the game. This equates to almost $17 million per minute of televised action. The NFL's sponsorship deals with companies like Rocket Mortgage and Pepsi are worth an additional $2 billion. This money is mostly from the use of NFL licensing to sell products. Merchandise sales also account for a significant portion of revenues, totaling tens of millions of dollars. Now, during normal times, ticket sales would also be a large part of revenue for the NFL, and it still might be this year. Tickets normally go from $1,000 to the mid-5 figures depending on the seat, and due to concerns over the pandemic, only 22,000 fans will be allowed to watch the game in person this year. This is down about 70% from a traditional Super Bowl, but is still better than nothing, all things considered. The next major source of revenue are the famous Super Bowl commercials. However, this money does not go to the NFL, but instead goes to the networks per the terms of their deal with the league. In 2020, advertisers spent an average of $5.6 million for a 30-second ad spot, totaling almost $450 million in advertising revenue for the game. This year, major brands like Coke, Hyundai, and Avocados from Mexico have decided to sit out from the Super Bowl Sunday airtime due to the pandemic. Even fan favorite Budweiser won't be airing an in-game ad for the first time in almost 4 decades. That being said, in a very next man up-esque way, there will always be other companies willing to pay the price for their precious airtime. Companies like Chipotle, Huggies, and DoorDash are all expected to make their big game debut this Sunday. In addition to ad revenue, Pepsi will pay $7 million just to sponsor the 12-minute halftime show this year featuring The Weeknd, who will get paid a whopping $0 to perform for 100 million people. Since the NFL is a private organization, it is difficult to get precise numbers on how much they actually make from the Super Bowl. But based on numerous reports and the details discussed in this video, we can estimate that the league brings in well over $5 billion for the big game. However, what is clear is that the Super Bowl is important to a number of organizations and is a significant boost to the United States economy. It is estimated that $18 billion will be spent by Americans preparing for the game on Sunday, not to mention the additional boost to local revenues in normal years from hotel and restaurant sales. It is safe to say that Super Bowl Sunday is an extremely significant day in the US and seems like it will be for many decades to come. Thank you all for watching, and I know I speak for all Bostonians when I say, go Bucks.